Assalamu alaikum and greetings. Let's learn about proportions, rates, and ratios for categorical data. So let's make a question that can proportion, rates, and ratio be for quantitative data as well? No, it will be only for categorical data or qualitative data. So what is difference between proportion, rates, and ratio? You have to learn yourself. It is just like self-learning. So consider your self-learning and you can learn what is difference. And you can also tell me or you can also put on the portal. So proportion, rates, and ratios are statistical measures used to analyze categorical data. Definitely, they help to summarize categorical data, compare groups, and understand distributions and relationships. The definition of proportion is the fraction or percentage. So one thing is now clear. Percentage is basically the proportion of total population belonging to specific category, like number in category dividing by total population. For example, if I want to know what is the proportion of male in our community, I should know the number of male and the total number of population. When I will divide, there will be a number that is called proportion. If 30 out of 50 people prefer coffee, proportion is 60% or 0.6. The definition of rate is measure of the frequency of an event occurring in a defined population over a specific period of time. So remember, it's a frequency of an event occurring in a defined population over a specific period of time. Here the time is involved. In proportion, time was not involved. In rates, time is involved. For example, the formula will be number of events, for example, number of diseased people, population at risk multiplied by 1,000, 100, 10,000, or 100,000 or 1 million. So it is usually taken as out of 100,000. If 5 accidents occur in a population of 1,000 in a year, the rate will be 5 dividing by 1,000 multiplied by 1,000, 5 accident per 1,000. So 5 accident per 1,000 is the answer. If you want to convert it into percentage, you just multiply with 100 instead of this 1,000. So if you want to get your answer in percentage, multiply here with 100, not with 1,000, then it will become your percentage. Ratios are comparison between two quantities. Now again, look, it is the comparison. Rates were not comparison. Proportion were not comparison. Proportion was percentage of an event out of total. Rate was a percentage. Rate was a percentage or out of 1,000 or out of 10,000 for a specific event occurring in a specific time out of total number of population at risk. Now the ratio is comparison between two quantities or two numbers, showing how many times one value contained or is contained by another, like quantity A out of quantity B. For example, number of male dividing by number of female. Here, total is not involved. In previous example, like rates, total was involved. Here, total was involved, but in ratio, total is not involved. If there are 40 male and 60 female in a group, we can say the male to female ratio is 2 to 3. You just do a simple mathematics, 40 over 60, and it is 2 to 3. So compare proportion between group to identify trend or disparities. For example, group A, 20 over 100 and 40 over 1,000. Both group have the same proportion. For example, if it is 60, then again, you just do the mathematics, it will be 30%. You can say the group B was higher in proportions. So you can do the comparison as well. Proportions are used in survey analysis like percentage of people preferring a product. Rates are used to identify the disease incidence, prevalence, and crime rates. Ratio are used to know the comparison between two numbers like gender ratio and population, student to teacher ratio, patient to bed ratio or bed to patient ratio, or bed occupancy ratio or rates and proportions you can calculate. We can also visualize these things using different charts like bar chart, line graph, or pie chart. Pie chart showing proportion of age group in a population. Ratio comparison can be presented using bar chart. Line graph can show rates over time. It can show the trend. And bar chart and pie charts are also used for visualization of proportion. So here, the purpose of this content is to tell you bar chart can be used for proportions, line chart used for rates, and ratios can be presented with bar chart as well, or stacked or multiple bar chart. I have already taught you in previous module. So pie chart is good for proportion. For example, 70 out of 200 participants are smokers, 35% are smoker. 10 car accident in a population of 5,000 in a year, 10 out of 5,000 multiplied by 1,000 or 100. Based on your choice, you want to present your data in percentage or out of 1,000. Ratios are 300 male and 700 females. The ratios are 3 to 7. So here are common rates and ratios used in health sciences, in medical sciences. Here are the pattern. I have given the definition first, then their formulas, then one example of each. Let's learn about their definition. Crude birth rate, the number of live birth in a year per 1,000 population. The condition is the number of live birth. If there is a neonate or fetus who born died, they will not be included in the crude birth rate. Crude death rate, number of deaths in a year per 1,000 population. Infant mortality rate, deaths of infant under 1 year. So it is regarding the babies of 1 year, under 1 year, who have age from 0 to 1 year out of 1,000 live birth in a year. You have to be very careful about it is about live birth. Maternal mortality rate, deaths of mother due to childbirth. Related causes per 100,000 live birth in a year. For example, there are 5 lakh live birth in a year, and you have to know about how many mothers were died during maternity or during pregnancy. It will be calculated as maternal mortality rate. Fertility rate, the number of live birth per 1,000 women, because it is now fertility, the number of live birth per 1,000 women of childbearing age. So it is now about the childbearing age that is usually considered as 15 to 49 years. So the difference between crude birth rate and fertility rate, it was basically the live birth of 1,000 population. It is number of live birth per 1,000 women of childbearing age from 15 to 49 years. Neonatal mortality, what is difference between infant and neonatal mortality? Infant was death of infant under 1 year, and neonatal is death of infants under 28 days. So you already know neonates are those whose age is under 28 of age per 1,000 live birth. Under 5-year mortality, like 1 year was used here, 20 days are used here. Death of children under 5 years of age per 1,000 live birth. So case fatality rate, the proportion of individual with a disease who die from it. For example, it is like from cancer. So the proportion of individual who died with cancer. Attack rate or disease rate, the proportion of population that contracts a disease during a specific time period. Dependency ratio, the ratio of dependent, young plus old, to working age population. Under 18 years, working age is under 18 years or under 16 years, or it is from 15 to 60 years, like under 15 years will be excluded and above 64 years will be excluded. It will be taken as out of working age like 15 to 64 years. So young plus old to the working age population. Young plus old mean all the people who are less than 15 years plus who are above 64 to the population of 15 to 16 years. So non-working dividing by working. Non-working means they are dependent. Who are dependent? Kids and older people. Sex ratio, it is the proportion or ratio between male and female. How many male and female are there? So it was definition. Now here is the formula. Number of live birth over total population multiplied by 1,000. Number of deaths, total population multiplied by 1,000 and so on. You can read this slide and you can learn the formula. And I have also added an example in the next slide. Here is the next slide. For example, there were 25 births in a population of 5 lakh. You can do simple mathematics. If you want to convert into percentage, then remember you have to multiply it with 100 instead of 1,000. So you can see these example, and your upcoming quiz will be dependent on these slides, like the type of categorical data and these rates and ratio. So here is the summary. Proportion, rates and ratio summarizes and compare categorical data. Proportion indicates fraction or percentage. Rates measure event over time or population. Ratios compare quantities between categories, and an essential tool for data-driven decision making. So happy weekend, and I know your weekend will be very overloaded now. You have to learn all these things, and there is upcoming quiz as well, maybe next week. So have a good day. If there is any query or any question, you can directly ask me, or you can put into the group. I will inshallah reply at my convenience. Thank you so very much. And revise the previous module. I'm saying it again and again because the upcoming lectures will be totally based on the previous modules and these lectures as well, because we will do the practical work alongside, inshallah. Thank you very much. See you, inshallah.